your gateway to Africa's real estate revolution. Whether you're a developer or seller of prime real estate in Africa, whether you're an investor or buyer hunting for opportunities, or you're a supplier of real estate products or provider of services in the real estate industry in Africa, this is your marketplace.
A very good evening and welcome to your Thursday evening show with your servant Nana Kwame Osaitu. Baby bia will be a ene enyumremi ma jomo akwaba edo eba jumadie so. Producer Mpacho, check my famous feed no for me. I can't see from here. 1 minute. Abusa from Pamcho, mama me 1 minute na me check it from my side. Yes. Oh no. Mpamcha Motiminka. Hello. Mpamcha Motiminka. Yeah. I think they can hear me now. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yo, abusia for me mama ajo mama akwaba enanyumre edemo eba time with TAPTAP Saint Jumedia edebro every Thursday bia ewo OT Media TV. Enanyumre medamwase se baby amo bia mwa be kan ho ewo Jumedia so na said ye ma unya ntie no. We are talking about property investment opportunities in the UK. Property investment opportunities in the UK. Now, yenya one special guest when it comes to property investment opportunities in the UK, Jumedebia, or a very vast experience, ewomu oni babe share. Anything say invite somebody to join us on the show this evening. Is and say UK hanamo na opese otodan and I say usua kwan abefa so a obetimi atodan UK hanoma. This is the show for you. So please invite a friend to invite somebody to join us on this show this evening, and I know definitely they will be blessed. I want to say a very big thank you to our proud sponsors for making it possible for us to be able to bring this show to you every week. I'm talking about TAPTAP Send. TAPTAP Send Adaroma Inti Emma Yetimi Edi Jumedie Bro every Thursday bia and Inti say what joining wo hweying and I would see and baby bia na won't join it TAPTAP Send Ebusuya Kuna. We are inviting you to come and join the big TAPTAP Send family. Go to App Store, Play Store, download the app, and you will definitely love it. When you finish downloading, it's very easy to use to send money to your loved ones in Africa. And if it's your first time, please use promo code OTMG1, OTMG1. It will credit your app with £10, $10, 10 euros, wherever that you are around the globe, and you will get a bonus of £10 in addition to your first transfer. TAPTAP Send papa no sa enso ena TAPTAP Send say mima unya ntie say we existing customer dada wo ye referral program and that's a referral campaign and into bomodia na refer three people omu use TAPTAP Send pay you qualify to earn £100 $100 baby bia will be and into bomodia invite 3 people to use TAPTAP Send, and when they download the app, tell them to use your referral code. Your referral code, you can find it in your app, when you open your app home screen, at the top right corner, you see a gift box. When you click on the gift box, your referral code is there. Give it to a friend or a loved one when they download it for the first time. And when you get 3 people to use your referral code to send transfer for the first time, you qualify to earn £100, $100, €100, wherever that you are. So please tell your loved ones, tell your colleagues, your church members to download TAPTAP Send, and they will enjoy it, and you will also earn 100 in addition to the normal bonus that when you refer somebody, you get additional £100, $100, and €100. Yo, abuja for mami endane me ho na me mfa enkrato baako entwam eno na chi no me de minua berima ebebro na yene no atwetwe nkomo on property investment opportunities in the UK. Property investment opportunities in the UK. Producer, one quick ad. Producer, one quick ad, please.
So, Christica Manian, pretty me do rap just from me send in a minute in Sabacandia and then one tap send.
Yeah, Ebushanfo, we didn't did an akuma patchlewa one. They recommended tap send that mama. And that's our for also for baby. Now, Yabasa, our rating so yeah. Our year A1. So, Pian load do tap send. That all says it can for tap.
You're going to do check a man, you're going to do check Gala Fosset. You are going to near this coffee here. May and friend for the VR, you know, tap at the move you are. Tap send in this street.
The tap with the one.
Tap and one in a
Piao.
Welcome to the epitome of luxury living, Whitewall Properties. We are a Ghanaian-owned real estate company that develops comfortable apartments and townhouses for residential and investment purposes. At Whitewall Properties, our vision is clear: to be Ghana's preferred real estate developer. We are driven by a passion to deliver consistent quality in our product and customer service. Our commitment to excellence is unwavering, and our team's dedication to providing an outstanding experience sets us apart. For over a decade, Whitewall has been at the forefront of Ghana's real estate industry, creating spaces that are not only comfortable, functional and located in the heart of Accra, but also stylish and luxurious. Each of our prestigious developments reflects our core values of quality, reliability and customer satisfaction. Choosing Whitewall Properties means choosing a partner who understands your needs and exceeds your expectations. We are proud to contribute to Ghana's real estate landscape, offering homes and investment opportunities that are second to none. We invite you to explore our projects and discover the Whitewall difference. Contact us today to learn more about our development and how we can help you find your perfect home. Visit whitewallproperties.com or call us. Whitewall Properties. Discover true comfort.
My apologies. I think my mic was off. Welcome back once again to your number one Thursday evening show, Time with Tap Tap Send, with your servant, Nana Kwame Osaitu. And as I indicated earlier on, we will be talking about property investment opportunities in the UK. And my able brother who has a vast experience when it comes to the property market in the UK happens to be my good friend, Emmanuel Antwi. A very good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Anna. God bless you. Thanks for having me all the time. It's always wonderful to be here and to meet your wonderful audience. I'm glad I'm here.
I mean, but before we zoom into the discussion, give us a brief background of who Emmanuel Antwi is, if you can tell us a little bit.
Okay. So I'm sure I'm not new to this platform. I've been here for quite a number of times, and majority of you may know me already, but as you may all know, it's the right thing to do to introduce myself. So I'm Emmanuel Antwi. I'm a minister of the gospel to begin with. I serve as an evangelist with the Elim Pentecostal Church at Stevenage here in the UK. And apart from that, I have my own business. I'm the founder and the CEO of a company called ACA Homes. ACA Homes are into property investment, consultation, mortgages, developments, construction, and anything that has to do with investing in properties right here in the UK and abroad. Over the past 15 to 18 years, we've been involved in over 10 million projects. We know some partly our projects, some partly working with, investors and people who would like us to be involved in their projects. We've helped a lot of investors to acquire mortgages, to work with systems and strategies that will help their business to flourish. And we've helped a lot of people to acquire properties, and build their portfolio. So we've been in the industry for quite a while now, and we know how the system works. So I find it as a wonderful privilege to be here to spend the next few hours with you to explore some of the opportunities you can lay your hands on, in the UK, so long as property investment is concerned. So that's a bit about me, if that is okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Emma. And thank you once again for accepting our invitation to join us on this show to throw more light on property investment opportunities here in the UK. Ade baako ne sɛ obi bia o UK ha bia na koma so ade sɛ obetimi atɔ ɛdan, either sɛ wɔtena mu anaasɛ for investment purpose. And when it comes to the UK property market, there are so many ways obi ebetimi atɔ dan. And they say the FMU ehefa and audi ebefi na odi akwakodu. And how are you going to encourage us for us to be able to invest in property in the UK?
Wonderful. Nana, so for the benefit of our audience, I will be juggling between the Cree and the English at the same time, but I will mainly be focusing on the English. So, but if you want to ask any question, feel free to, come through, but maybe give me the next few minutes to take you through a bit of what is actually happening in the property market, the trend currently, the market is currently taking, steering to in the UK. Just to begin, today, I think when I spoke to you, we wanted to actually talk to people about the benefits or the opportunities in investing in properties in the UK. But I don't think I would do you well if I just focus on all the benefits. I also want to tell you what is actually happening and some of the issues that we are currently facing in the UK in the property market. And I will show you how you can turn some of these things to benefit you as someone who wants to be in property, who wants to invest in properties. But Nana, how many minutes do I have roughly?
Let's do 20 to 25, then we can have 15 minutes also for questioning time.
Of questions. Yeah. Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay. So let's be clear. Property investment remains one of the safest investments everywhere globally. As you can tell, the stock market can crash. And we have seen that even in recent wars and stuff coming up, a lot is happening where the market is crashing. At the moment, those of you investing in Bitcoin and the rest, you would have seen that they are all coming down. The S&P 500 they are all red. So the market is quite volatile as I speak. Now, the reason why globally, property investment have become acceptable is that it is proven to be one of the safest and one of the best investments globally. And so when I encourage people to invest in properties, I don't say it because it's my job. I say it because it's the truth. And I think that I owe my audience that, that fact, find to and I want to do whatever I can do within the knowledge I've acquired in the UK to be able to encourage you to invest in properties. In 2015, when we started advising people to invest in properties, a majority of the people didn't take us serious. But you begin to realize that now people are beginning to realize the importance and opportunities in investing in properties. And those who didn't take advantage of all the opportunities that came to the UK at the time, they've lost drastically. And so I'll be sharing a lot of benefits with you. But before I do that, let me quickly tell you a bit about what has changed and what is actually happening so that so let me quickly tell you what has actually happened and what are some of the changes that the UK is currently experiencing. And then from there, I will also tell you how you can turn some of these things into your advantage or how you can see them as benefits within the UK. Now, the one of the drastic changes that you will currently see in the UK is that, or globally, actually, let me just speak here in the UK, just so that because we are UK audience, I want you to get it. Okay, you would see that number one, there was a time when the UK introduced what was called a discount on right to buy. Now, those of you who don't know what right to buy is, right to buy simply means if you had lived in a council accommodation or a housing association for a number of years, particularly between 3 to 5 years, you have the right to apply to buy that. And when you apply to buy it, the government will give you a massive discount. As of before 2024, November 2024, the government was giving a discount up to 136,400. When you take advantage of that discount becomes your money after 3 to 5 years, because after 3 to 5 years, you are able to keep the property, either sell it, refinance it, pull that money out, and do whatever you want to do with. Okay. Now it is no longer there. Even though this was a very, very good discount, it is drastically changed. Currently, the only discount the government is giving is between 16,000 to 38,000, depending on your location. All right. So we can see that times have changed. Something that started from 136,000, now that has been drastically reduced to 16 to 38,000. So that is not good news for those people living in council accommodation who wants to buy now. So when we were telling people to buy their council accommodation, a lot of people didn't take advantage. So if you were one of the people, then you lost there. All right. But obviously, I'm going to be talking to you about the opportunities here. So I'll tell you what is in there for you as well. Now, another thing you will also see is that interest rate has gone up. You know, currently, if you have a mortgage, the problem you'll be having is when it is time for you to renew, those of you who are on a mortgage and your interest rate was 1.5%, 1.8%, times have changed. At the moment, you know, Bank of England base rate is about 3.7. And so the banks are offering around 4.5, 4.8 interest rate. So if first you were paying a mortgage of about 1,200, now when you refinance, you realize that you are going to be paying close to about 1,800 or 1,900. It means that your monthly repayment is going up. And so that has become an issue as well. If you are buying a property new, if you've never owned a property and you want to buy, you realize that interest rate is gone up. So what you would have paid before, now you will not be paying them again. That is also another issue that the UK is facing. Now, the third issue the UK is facing is stamp duty increased, okay? Now, the government, when I say stamp duty is the tax you pay when you are buying a house, just in simple terms. So, you know, the UK, we enjoy taxing ourselves. Now, when you are buying a house, you pay tax. That tax is more of the land that you are buying, the land the building is staying is built on. You pay a tax for that. Before now, that tax, the government was offering a tax relief. So if the value of the property you are buying is around 250,000, you are not going to be paying a stamp duty on any property up to 250,000. So if you buy a house and the house is 150,000, you will not pay stamp duty. If you buy a house and it is 180 or 100 and whatever, up to 250, you will not be paying stamp duty. But guess what? Now they've changed it. So now, if you buy a house and the house is around 125,000, you will not pay tax. But as soon as it exceeds 125,000, you start paying taxes on it. So that is not good. It means that they've cut it. They've cut about 125,000 off, almost 50% off of your tax relief. You know, it has a chance say, so koto daya, na se, a dining bono, more than 125,000, you are going to be paying tax, you'll be paying tax on it, which is not much of a good news. Now, for those of you who already have properties, number 4, you realize that they've also introduced a system that means that if you have a house and you are renting the house, the unfortunate thing they've done now is that you would have to declare your tax on the rent you receive, as opposed to taking your expenses out of the rent you receive before paying the tax, which is not good, because in every, logical accounting, you would assume that if I'm buying something, I pay tax after I have deducted my expenses. And so you only assume that you'll be paying your tax on your profits. But now that is not the case. The tax man wants to take their tax on the rent you receive before you pay, before you declare your profit. So you will probably end up paying more than you are receiving, slashing majority of your profit, which you were getting before. So again, that is not so good for UK residents and those who already have properties or rental properties. And these are all the changes that has come into play. Now, another massive change that has come into play right now, and this will happen from May 2026. It's, after May 2026, say, it is very, very important, okay? I'm going to introduce you something that will end a session, be a session 21. That session 21, it is called no fault eviction. It means, two tenants, keke. You can't just evict your tenant, all right? And so if you have a tenant and if you have a property and you have a tenant in the property after 1st May 2026, this law has come into enforcement. Section 21 is ended. So you can't just evict your tenant. you would have to go through some procedure to be able to get your tenant out, which is not good. It works in favor of the tenant. For those of us renting, it works in your favor more than it works in the favor of the landlord. Anyway, so just so that you know. Also, those of you who have like HMOs, houses, you are renting rooms for and all that, the regulation has changed. They've introduced something we call an Article 4. That Article 4 means that you can't, if you don't have the license within a certain area, you probably may not be able to get the license again. If you want to get a license to operate an HMO, person who rent legally, you may not be able to do that because you may not have the actual license to be able to do it. And so these are all, some few changes that has come into the market. Now, obviously, when there are changes like this in the market becomes shaky. And people begins to restrain from buying properties because they say interest rate are cost, stamp duty, tax are back. Yes, meet me to me tenant. Yes, so when all these things begin to come into the system, people begin to stay back because they don't know what to expect, which is okay because property investment is not meant for people who are who are fearful. Property investment, as you may think, is obviously an investment platform where people who know what they are doing must come and play the game. So you have to understand what you are doing to be able to invest in properties now. But I'm here to give you a lot of opportunities that are in the market at the moment, because it is not all, doom as you may think. When things are going bad, that is where the real people who know what they are doing comes in and to change and to make money. Okay. There are people who invest when things are really bad. And so even though there's been a lot of regulations and changes that looks as though it is affecting the UK market, that is not actually the case. There are real opportunities. Very, very opportunities, very so much opportunities that I would like to share with you. And so please, I want you to listen. There are a lot of them. I won't be able to share everything here. And so what I would do is I'm going to go through the few, and then I'll give you the opportunity to ask questions. Now, when we finish, I'm hosting an event which I'll be talking to you about before I finish. And so we'll take it from there. But let's look at some of the opportunities that is actually happening in the market. Okay. Now, what you realize is that because the market is a bit shaky right now, there are not a lot of buyers in the market. And every property market or every market you would think, operates on demand. So prices goes up when there is more demand. Se nipa bebree hwehwɛ dan ato a, anas epɛ dan ato a, prices goes up because demand is high. But what is happening right now is that because of these regulations, a lot of people there are a lot of uncertainties in the market. So a lot of people are holding back investing in properties, which means that growth is not looking so good. At the moment, the UK is looking around 2 to 4% growth averagely because of what is happening in the global market with the wars and everything. So that is not so good at the moment. But the good news is that is the best time for you to buy. If there is any good time for you to buy, you always buy when property prices are dropping or when growth is not sharp. Because when you buy now, the market will correct itself, and when the market begins to soar high, then the value of your property will begin to go up as well. And so this is the best time to get on the train. You don't buy at the peak. You don't buy when property prices are high, because when property prices are high, number one, you spend too much money to buy. And you overprice. You realize that before you finish buying, there is no equity at all in your property. And so this is the right time to buy because there are fewer buyers. We don't have a lot of buyers currently, so there are fewer buyers. So this is a real opportunity for everyone that property buyers have reduced, so you can now buy. But what does that also mean? That also means that now negotiation is in your hands. You can now negotiate. For example, I'll give you an example. I was buying a property for an investor, which I'm working with currently, and we had originally, negotiated the property to around 390,000, which has been accepted. And there were slight delays with the purchase. And so we went back again to say, hey, the market is slow now. And so it's either you give us a discount or we have to pull out because the market is very slow. So give us 10,000 discount for us to proceed further. Now the seller came back to say, all right, I'll give you guys 5,000 discounts. And we are still negotiating. I'm just saying this for you to understand that now, because of fewer buyers, you have a real opportunity to go in, not only to buy lower, but to buy from a very good value, from a very good price, because now you can negotiate. So it's not like, 2 or 3 years ago when there were so many buyers, and so the sellers don't want to reduce their property prices. Now you have a real opportunity to ask for people to reduce their prices and to reduce their prices. So that is one opportunity you have right now. And so if there is any time for you to buy, now is the right time for you to buy. Now, you also have to think about buying properties where you can add some sort of value to. Okay, I know that when I say this, people may probably don't understand, but a lot of times when we are buying properties, we look to buy properties that are in good condition. The kitchen is okay. I don't want headache. I don't want to have anything. Yes, buy those type of properties. There is nothing wrong with it. But when you are buying, make sure that the property you are buying has a real potential to add value. For example, if you are buying a 2 or 3 bedroom house, in the future, can you go in the loft to change it into a 4 bedroom? Or does it have enough space for you to do an extension at the back or at the side? You have to look at some of these things. You have to buy properties you can add value to in the future. Because what is happening is, if you get into the market and you buy a property at a cheap price and God blesses you with some money and you do an extension, immediately you have added a lot of value to the property in the next few years, as opposed to waiting for the property price to appreciate, because that can take a while now. And so when you are buying a property right now, you have to look at opportunities you can add value to, you can add small value to. So buy properties that are in good condition, but find out if there are real opportunities to add value. Or alternatively, buy properties that are not in good conditions. Because what that does is, if you buy a property that is inhabitable, you don't have to pay stamp duty. So that automatically saves you on stamp duty, so long as you can prove that the property is inhabitable. All right, you don't have to pay stamp duty on it, which is a very, very, very good approach in buying. It's the new stamp duty regulation, which I think you should take advantage of right now. But that is not the only reason. Another reason is that you can now decide to add value. So if you buy the property, say for example 100,000, and you refurbish the property with say 50,000, yeah, because you bought it cheap, automatically the new value of the property becomes 200,000, not 150,000. So you have added 50,000 equity in the property. And if you had fixed your purchase for 2 years, within the 2 years, you can put the money you put in to invest into another property. Okay, so these are some strategies that you need to be taught, but these are very critical. Now, number 4, try and buy property from affordable locations. Okay, so don't buy properties at places where property prices are very high. So find affordable and beautiful emerging locations. Okay, say for example, if you hear that there's going to be a new railway construction at a certain area, that is a very good place to buy. Or if you hear that there's a big shop like M&S, Sainsbury's is going to be opening at a particular town, that would be a good place if to buy. Places where there are universities, places where there are hospitals. These are very, very good areas for you to buy properties, because there's going to be high demand in the future if you don't want to live there for rent. So your rental yield will go very high, and property prices within those areas, they quite increase a lot. But because the growth is not there at the moment, you will get some of these properties very cheap. And in the next 1 or 2 years time, when the market has corrected itself and growth comes back, you realize that you would have made a lot of money, because you bought right. Okay. Now, there are other schemes like the Let's to Buy schemes, which I want to encourage every one of you to look into. Okay. Now, if you already own a property and you want to buy another property, the government is going to unleash a lot of taxes on you. But not only that, the government is also going to ask you to pay up to 25% deposit, because it becomes an investment property. It even becomes worse when you are buying in your own name. Okay. So if you have a property already and you want to buy another property, you have to buy into a limited company. The name of the limited company at the moment is called a Special Purpose Vehicle, SPV. So learn to buy into the limited company. Now, those of you who are already living in your residential homes, okay, if you want to move out, you don't have to sell your house. You can actually change that particular house into a buy-to-let. That is what we call let to buy. So you can tell your lender you want to rent that house, and they will change it into an investment property for you to rent it. Then you can go and buy another residential with 10%, not 25%. And if you stay in that, don't fix it for more than 2 years, because a lot of people like fixing it for 5 years. Fix it for 2 years, and you can now move from that 2 years. After 2 years, you can change that as well into a buy-to-let, an investment property, and buy another residential. All right. Unless, of course, the area you've bought is so good that you don't want to live there, so you want to stay there. But anytime you want to leave a place you have, don't sell the house. Pull equity from the house and go and buy another one, because the one you are going to buy will become your new residential, and the one you are living in can become an investment property. So you don't need to pay 25% deposit again. All you need is 10% deposit. So you realize that with that strategy in mind, you end up buying a lot of property and quicker than you would think of. And this is another opportunity that is currently here in the UK. Now, another opportunity I want to share, and I'll share another maybe 3 or 4, then I'll start picking questions, because I can see there's about two questions on the platform. Is that, think about the plan. If you want to buy a new build and you see a developer building, go and approach the developer and ask the developer, can I buy my property off plan? Because off plan property prices are very cheap. So say, for example, they've started the development. They'll finish the development in a year or 2 time. Go in now and tell them you want to buy now. So what is happening is that they would give you the opportunity to make an offer. So if they are selling the property for 300,000 or 150,000, you can now opt to pay it for 120,000. And when you secure it, they will not ask you to pay now. They will ask you to put a holding deposit. Sometimes it's just as small as £500 or £1,000, and that is it. And you wait for a year or sometimes even a year and a half to actually buy the property. And by the time it gets to a year or a year and a half, the value of the property had already gone up. So that property you secured for 120, those who are now coming in to buy, because now they've seen that the development is nice and they want to buy, they will be buying at the peak of the market. So they will now be buying it around 200,000 or 250,000. So what do? You went in at 120. You buy it now, and when people want to buy it, if you don't want to live in, you sell it to them. You've made money, isn't it? you've made money. You buy it, you stay, and you sell it to them. But if you want to live in it, you can live in it, fix your mortgage for 2 years. After 2 years, refinance it at the current value. Pull all that money out, and you can now go and buy another property. All right. So that is another smart way you can buy properties. It's so smart. So you have to, you've got to be able to think this. There are strategic ways to buy properties here. Okay. There are a lot of people don't know how to buy properties in the UK. If you have 50,000, I can show you how you can use that 50,000 to buy multiple properties within a space of 2 to 3 years. What people do is they take all their deposits and they put it in one property. They don't approach it with strategy. Okay, so they put it all in one property and they wait and save money and save money. How long would you save another 200,000 or another 50,000 to buy another one? But if you know how to approach properties and how to use strategies to buy, you'll be able to scale fast and buy more properties. So the ordinary people are buying more properties now. One of the things I do more is that I help people to buy their first 3 properties. Because if you are able to buy your first 3 property, you don't need to save money again. Because assuming you have 3 properties, these 3 properties, when you refinance every single one of these properties, the money you can pull out of those refinance can buy a 4th property. After some few years, when you refinance the 4 properties, those money you pull out can buy another one. So now it is not your money. The properties are buying themselves. Now because you were able to buy the first 3, now the first 3 will be buying themselves. If you approach the purchase strategically, okay. If you are also an investor, you already have some properties and you are looking to scale up and buy and build more, you have to think about recycling your money. You need to think about how you can turn that 50,000, that 100,000, that 20,000, that 30,000 into buying more properties. Okay, so think about strategies. All right, rather than always going to the market to buy a property that is already made, buy rundown properties. Buy properties that are already made. Because think about it this way: the one who is selling at the market value. But when you buy a property that is run down, you have the opportunity to add value, refinance it, and sell at the market value. So why would you want to buy an already made when you can buy one and make it up yourself and also sell as an already made? You know what I mean? So think about strategy. Don't just think about, buying properties. Those times are gone. You have to approach properties in a strategic way to be able to become successful in property. I will teach you one last thing and then I will go. Okay. Now, if you are buying a property, okay, at the moment, I'll teach you this, a very important strategy or an opportunity that is in the UK currently. You will know that the UK has actually reduced the restrictions in their planning application. Before, when you want to do an extension or you want to do anything in your house, you have to go through a very extensive planning application processes. The compliance, system was extremely high. All right, that is all changed now. Now there is something we call permitted development. So long as your extension is within 6 meters away from the existing building, it falls within permitted development. All you have to do is to get a planner who will put an application through for you. So what people do is when they buy their property, they pay a planner to just they pay a planner about 1,000 or 1,500 to look at their property before they sell, okay, or before they refinance, to put in an application for an extension. Now, as soon as you get planning permission for that extension, you have already added value to the property. You've not even done the work, but because you have the planning permission, if anybody is selling their property on the street for 100,000, you can sell yours for 120,000 because you have that planning permission, but you only secured it with 100,000 pounds or 1,200 pounds through a planner. So if you have a property you genuinely want to sell, don't just sell. Think about, can I add value? Can I apply to the council to, to give me some permission to do something? And when you are selling, sell the property with the planning permission, because that will already add value to your property. Okay. One last one. I can see someone's hands is on. One last one. I'll teach you one last, then I promise. There is a lot of strategies I want to teach and opportunities, but maybe when you start asking the asking questions, most of them will come into play. Okay. For example, you want to buy a flat. When some of you are buying flats and you see that the lease on the flat is low, you panic. But that is a big investment opportunity for you. If you are buying a flat and you see that there is a low lease, the first thing you have to do is you have to find out how much the flat are selling around the area and what is the maximum lease around there. Some of them may have maybe 250 years lease. Some of them may have 300 years lease. Some of them may have 150, 180 lease. So if your lease and those properties are selling for, let's say, for example, 200,000, what you want to do is you don't want to buy a property with the maximum lease. If you want to invest in flats, you want to buy a property with the least lease as possible, because you can negotiate it very low. Because of the lease, because of the small lease, a lot of people will not want to buy. If the lease comes below 80 years, people don't want to buy because lenders don't want to lend to them. But there is a special a special panel of lenders called bridging lenders. They are bridging finance. They will finance it for you. The ones the lenders don't want to do, they will do it. Their interest rate is quite high, but it is a very good way of funding some of these projects. So you go in there, you negotiate hard, and you buy the property below. And guess what? You can now increase the lease with just about 15 to 20,000. Once you increase the lease, automatically, if property prices are selling for 200,000 at the area and you bought it at 100,000 and you only spend 20,000 to extend the lease, so long as the lease now matches the lease around all those areas, the value of your property immediately becomes 200,000. It is called forced appreciation. And it's a very subtle property investment strategy that a lot of people are not embracing now, which is in the system. So these are all there for your advantage. Okay, there is more, but I'm going to stop here and take questions. Okay, so I think Jackie's hands is on. So Jackie, if you want to start talking, then when we finish, I'll get Sister Nana to also talk. Jackie.
Right. Before I pick the questions, you've given us a huge information within a short space Absolutely. Of time. Very yes. Insightful. Very insightful. But briefly, if somebody is a first-time buyer, what would be your number one advice to this person? First-time buyer, what would be your number one advice?
If you're a first-time buyer, and you are, okay, let me even make the question difficult for myself and expand it more, okay? If you're a first-time buyer and you are a couple, okay, my first advice for you is, as much as you can, don't buy the property with your spouse, okay? The reason I say that is, if you buy the property with your spouse, automatically you rob your spouse from becoming a first-time buyer as well. And every privilege a first-time buyer owns will be taken away from your spouse. Okay? So if you have a good affordability, buy it alone. It is very important. Now, your spouse can also buy another property at a later time. What that means is that rather than having one property, automatically the two of you will own two properties. And why is this important? Because you can spend between 5 to 10%. I will always say 10% because I think the 5% is a scam. I have my reasons for that because the interest rates there is too high and sometimes it is just not affordable. Okay. So 10% deposit, your spouse 10% deposit. Okay. Your stamp duty would be up to 250%, 250,000. So you will not pay stamp duty on for any value of the property up to 250,000. Same will apply to your spouse. So over there, you have saved a lot of money already, and you already owe 2 properties. Okay, so that is one. All right, that is number one. Now, if you decide that because of affordability reasons, you want to buy with your spouse, that is also okay. But hear me, please. Okay, your first property will mostly not be the right property to house you because sometimes, depending on your family, whether you are young or you are old, there are people who already have like 3 kids and they are looking to buy, a place they want to call their home. So they will go for a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom. That is okay. But if you are young and it's your first property and you don't have a family yet, okay, your first property is mainly not going to be the final property you'll be buying. You by all means move. So buy with the mindset of an investor. Don't buy because I like the kitchen and no. Buy with the mindset of an investor. Think about where am I buying? Are property prices going to shoot up? Are there opportunities for me to add value in the future if I want to increase the bedrooms or widen the kitchen or so? Do I have the opportunity to do that? What is the lease? Is it a freehold or is a leasehold? All right. So you want to look at all these things to make a decisive decision to want to move forward. When I first bought my house, I bought my house alone. I didn't buy it with my wife. Okay, and we decided that we wanted to buy another property. So we bought it with the mindset that if we can buy 3-bed and we can rent out 1 or 2 of the rooms, those monies can pay off our mortgage whilst we save quickly, because it was never going to be our, the place we were going to stay forever. So we had to rent some of them, save money quickly. Then we only fixed it for 2 years, not 5 years, 2 years. I always tell people I don't like fixing properties for 5 years because things can happen and you want to move out really quick. When you fix it for 5 years, what will happen is that when you are moving out of the deal to buy another one, the bank will come after you and say, why are you ending my contract with you? So I want you to pay what is called an early redemption fee. Okay, so you don't want that. So I will always fix it at 2 years so that after the 2 years, I will move and buy another one. By the time you buy your first 3, your first 2, your last one will mostly be the place you want to live. It will mostly be the place you want to live. So that is where you buy your actual residential home, where you want to spend, the majority of your time. So personally, my advice to every first-time buyer is that when you are buying your first property, convenience is not always the best way to look at it. You have to think about investment. Even if you want to embrace convenience, also still think about, can I add value? Can I make more money? What can I add to this to ensure that I can buy my second, my third, or my fourth? Have that in mind when you are buying. So long as you have that in mind, you are fine. Okay. I hope my answer was good enough.
More than enough. Let's go to Jackie now. Jackie, please, go ahead and ask your question, Jackie.
Okay. So what I would like to know is, if I want to buy a property in a limited company as a first-time buyer, I don't have any property in the UK. Will I pay stamp duty if I'm putting 25% for the limited company?
If you don't have any property in the UK and you don't have any property at all in the UK, and you are buying an investment property, you are still liable to the 250% tax, 250,000 tax relief on stamp duty. Okay, even though you are buying in a limited company, you still get the opportunity to get that relief. So don't worry about it, Jackie.
No,
you are still okay.
But then I'll have to put 25%.
You would have to put 25% because it is an investment property. So rather than putting 10%, the bank would demand 25%. Okay, so I'll tell you, Jackie, what if I was you, I would do. Okay, if I was you, I will buy it as a residential property if you don't have the 25%. Okay, this is a free consultation advice. All right, consultation. All right, I will still buy it as my residential property for the 10%. Okay. Now I'll fix it for 2 years, not 5 years. Don't forget, 2 years. Okay.
Okay.
After you've lived in the property for 1 year, the bank has something called the right to rent.
Okay.
Okay. So if you live in a property and you decide that you don't want to live in the property again, you can apply to the bank and tell them that I'm tired of this place. I don't want to live in it again. I want to move out. I want to rent it out. The bank will give you a letter confirming that they approve for you to rent it out. So you can now move out and rent it out. If you don't come back to live in that property for another 6 to 1 year, the bank will tell you change that property into a buy-to-let. At that point, you will refinance it and change it into a buy-to-let. Then all the money you would have had, you can now go and buy another residential at 10%. So it's not 25%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Repeat the same process. In 2-3 years' time, you would have used 10% to have secured up to 3 or 4 properties.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So that is there. It is a very good strategy that works. Okay. A lot of people have bought multiple properties using this approach, the 10%, buy, live in it, move out, rent it, buy, live in it, move out, rent it, buy, live in it, move out, rent it. And they've scaled up without having to pay 25%. Okay.
All
right.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Before I pick Efua and read some of the questions from the chat room, I know you said you have a lot of strategies that you cannot share all within this short space of time, but you're going to have a webinar on very soon. Can you tell us a little bit about it so that, before people will drop off, they get the information before they'll drop off, and how they'll be able to get in touch with you from after this show?
Okay, all right. So I'm going to drop my number on the chat room for those of you who wants my number. I hope I am allowed, Mr. Prince. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to be dropping my number, but what it is I am running a webinar. It's a workshop. It's a property investment workshop. Do I have the right to share my screen just so that you see?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, all right. So if you see my screen, let me know. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for those of you who see my screen, I'm having a 1-day virtual property investment workshop. Okay. This is my free gift to you. Okay. I am going to be spending 2 hours with you, teaching you how you can invest in multiple properties in the UK within 2 years. I'm going to be showing you so much strategies, and I'll also have a surprise gift for everyone who attends. Okay, registration is free. It's on Eventbrite. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section. Just go there, click on the link, register, and come and join. Okay, there is no strings attached. I'm not charging you for this. Come and learn. All right. You are asking, how do I benefit? When you come and learn, and later on you decide, okay, you want to work with me or you need my help with something, that is where I benefit. Okay. If you decide that you've learned enough and you can apply the rules yourself, you can go and do it yourself. There is no issues at all. But one thing I can promise you is that when you come to this event, even if you learn 1 or 2 of these strategies, you can apply it the same day within this year and you make money. All right. I've been doing this for over 15 years. By the special grace of God, I've built multiple properties and multiple streams of income for myself and for my clients. And so I'm going to be dropping this now. And anyone who is interested, please feel free to register and join in, and yeah, come and learn a thing or two, and let's take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to chat room. I've got a few questions and I'll pick it for as well. Somebody's asking, what is the best way to buy 2 properties as a first-time buyer, one for rent and one for residential?
So you want to buy 2 properties, one for rent and one for residential. Now, this is it's not a difficult question. Okay, ideally, if you have your money, you can buy properties anytime, anyhow. Okay, but my best approach would be that within a year, if you are looking to buy a property as a first-time buyer, follow the principle I've given you. First, buy it as your main residential property. Okay, buy it and live in it. You, within 1 year, you have the right to move out and buy another residential and convert the one you've bought as a buy-to-let. That is if you don't have enough money to buy an additional property immediately. Okay, so I'm saying it for the benefit of those who don't have enough funds to buy. If you don't have 10% plus 250 plus 25% at the same time, plus all the stamp duties and the taxes that comes, then this is your strategy. Okay, this is the strategy you need to adapt. Okay, now I'm going to teach you something. All right, and I will expand it when you come and you register for the event. I will expand it even better. All right, when you are buying a house, when you are a first-time buyer and you are buying your house, please listen to this very carefully. All right, I don't have the I wish that I had what it takes to show you, but I think I would probably find something and I will show you what I mean very soon. When you are buying a house, buy your residential property to begin with. But when you buy a residential property, make sure that you are buying an end terrace. Okay, what is an end terrace? So an end terrace is if you are buying a house, don't buy a house that is in the middle of a chain of buildings, terraces. Don't buy the middle one. Okay, buy the end one. Now, when you are buying the end one, make sure that you have the barest minimum, a lot of space on the side. Okay, and I will show you what that means. I'm going to share something with you, something like a photo to give you an idea of what I mean. That will kind of tell you what I want you to do. Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll show you what I mean. If you are not watching your screen, watch your screen now. This is another free gift from me to you. So watch your screen now. It's part of the strategy I'll be showing you. Okay, can you see my screen? Do you all see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by an end terrace. So buy this house. Okay, when you buy this house, you see this space. Okay, it is a place you can build another house. Okay, so when you buy this house, then you apply for planning permission to build another dwelling here. Okay, so when you are buying, make sure you are seeing that there is a space for you to build another house. Someone is asking me, oh, how can I build a house? Yes, you can build. A lender will give you 100% development loan to build this house. Okay, and when you finish building it, you can split title. You can tell your solicitor, I want to split title, and you will get a mortgage on it. So you bought one house, you have a space to build another one, you will get a loan to build this one, and then you refinance it with a normal mortgage, and you split title. So this house becomes number 1, this house becomes number 2. So automatically you've bought 2 houses. All right, so even though you bought 1, now it is 2. All right, so these are some of the strategies that I'll be teaching, but that is also a clever way to buy if funds are, even if you have the funds, I will use this approach. I will not buy it at the same time. I will use this approach because it makes sense and you'll be able to make money quickly, because you soon realize that when you do this and you refinance, the money that will come into rates, because mind you, the property you bought came with the plot. You didn't even know, but it came with the plot. So if the plot is worth 100,000, that is free money. And by the time you build this, if you're able to build a 2 or 3 bedroom, your build cost will probably be about 150,000. If it's in London or somewhere, maybe outside of London, it will probably be even cheaper than that. And you probably end up having built a house you can refinance, which is now worth about let's say 200,000 or 250,000. By the time you refinance, as a matter of fact, you even get money out of this development to be able to buy your third house. All right. So that is a very clever way of doing that, and I can show you that as well. To be fair, as a matter of fact, I'm showing this strategy in detail. I will do it live for you to see how it is done. Okay, so the next time you are going to shop for your house, don't just go and look for stuff. Use an investment mindset to look for it. Does it have the space I can build another house if I want to build? Okay, I have used this strategy for a lot of my investors, and most of them, they bought one house. The next time people realized, they said, oh, come to my house. They says, but whose house is this? This is also mine. You know what I mean? So you already have two. And by the time you realize, you can refinance all these two, rent it out, and go and buy another one. So within a space of less than 2 years, you have 3 houses, which you only use one deposit, 10% deposit. 10% deposit. That is all you needed. How amazing is that?
Fantastic. Okay. All right, let's move on. Somebody is asking if you can share your contact details now in the chat room for them to contact you later on. Yeah.
Okay, I've shared my mobile number, and I'm also going to share my email address, but I have seen that a lot of you are registering for the course, which is good. So register from there and I'm going to allow a lot of questions. As a matter of fact, I said 2 hours, but if I realize that the response is good and people are asking more questions, I have to extend the time. I will extend the time for you to ask. Listen, all I'm aiming to do is to empower our people to be able to win. Okay, there is a better way. The Jewish people know it. Okay, the Asians know it, because all we have is we have our 10%. We buy a property, we stay in for 15 years, 20 years, and then that is it. No, that 10% can do a lot than you think. So I'm showing you all the loopholes and everything that is in the system, which you can take advantage of. There are people who are buying properties, they are buying 2-3 properties every year because they know what they are doing. And I want to empower our people to be able to do that. That is why I'm doing all this. Would I benefit from it? Of course, I'll benefit from it, but so would you also benefit from it. And together, we can also teach our children to do that, and they also teach their children. Then we will build generational wealth. You get it? So that is why I'm doing this. So you have my contact details. You have the link to the event. Register, come, and let's discuss this more.
On the show, I'll call you back. Yeah. All right. Let's pick Ifua, and after that, there's a gentleman in the US, and he's asking that I want to combine these 2 questions. First one from the chat room, and I'll add Ifua to it. Then you answer those 2 questions. So please jot it down for me. He said he resides in the US and is interested in buying property in the UK for investment purpose, for renting. What will be your advice when it comes to the procedure in getting a loan approved? Is he going to get a loan from the UK, or he can be able to access funds from the US to invest in the UK? Let me add
that is a very, very good question. Is it, who asked this question? Is it Ifua?
No, I'm here to add Ifua's question, then you answer it too.
No worries. So let me answer this question. Okay. You see, the UK has there is something we called, if you don't have your cash to buy your house, to invest in the UK. Say for example, you have 100,000, and $100,000 is about 80,000 pounds here. And with the money you have, if you want to use that to invest in a property in the UK, depending on the location you are buying from, you are either going to buy it outright cash, or you are going to have to get lending to be able to buy it. There are there are companies, banks who will finance some of these deals for someone who is an expert, someone who doesn't live in the UK, who wants to invest in it. But there are two main things wrong with this. Okay, number one, their interest rate is high. You are not going to get an interest rate like a local or a resident. You will not. Yours, so if a resident is paying 4.5% interest rate, yours is most likely going to be like 6%. Okay, if you are going to secure that. Okay, number two, your stamp duty is going to be high. So if we are paying stamp duty on a stamp duty relief of 125,000, yours is low. Okay, so you will pay more than we pay. And your taxes, because this is not your home tax, and you are making income from here, you are going to be paying huge tax in the UK, and you're going to be paying tax in the US as well, because you are investing here. So how do you overcome this challenge? I have a lot of people who are coming to me from Ghana, from other countries, asking me to help them to invest in the UK. So how do you do it? There are two ways you can overcome this. Yeah. Number one is you can do a joint venture with someone who is residing here. So number one, you open a company. The name of the company, you do a joint venture with someone who is a resident, and the person will be a named director on the company. So long as you are transacting the deal with someone who is a resident of the UK, you will benefit from everything that we have here. So you are fine. Okay, which for me, it is the first, way to go about this. Okay. Partner with someone who is a resident of the UK. All right. Now, number two, you can stay away from the purchase. Okay. Get someone in the UK to set up a company. And when the person sets up the company and the person buys the property and gets all the benefits a UK resident will get it, buy the company from the person. Don't buy the house. Okay, because when you invest in a company, when you buy a property in a company, you don't own the company. So you don't own the property. The property is owned by the company. The company is a different entity from yourself, and companies can be sold. So when the person finishes it, you buy the company from the person. Okay, when you buy the company from the person, and now I'm going to be I'm going to go a bit deeper. All right, so please. You may not understand it, but I'm happy to have another conversation with you. Now, the company can be trading here, but the headquarters of the company can be in a company that has a lot of good tax benefits. Okay, so you can have your residence company in a country with good tax benefits. And that company you have in the UK will be working in partnership with that company. So if you are in the US and you have a company in the US and the taxes in the US is better than the UK, then you have a company there that subsidiary companies are in the UK trading here. And so there will be tax benefits there, because the monies this company is making in the UK will now go as an expenses against the company in the US. All right. So you benefit from the taxes. It's all about knowing your taxes. So my first approach would be get someone to buy it and you buy the company. You don't buy it and get all the tax benefits. But if you don't trust anyone and you don't have anyone and you want to do it yourself, then you have to think about ways that you can make good money from the first time you are buying the property, because you can bring your money in, you can flush it out quickly, and you can move all your money out so that you leave the property to trade. All right. So you have to use a strategy that will mean that your money is not stuck. I will teach you how to do that if you talk to me. It's a very simple and a nice, process, but you will make a lot of money if you want to benefit from the UK. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who are coming on my event, some of them are from Ghana and they want to invest in the UK. And I'm going to teach them how they can do that safely and still make some money, because the world is going global and you don't rely on one economy. All right. So it's good to have some money, some dollars coming from the US, some Ghana cedis coming, some Nigerian naira coming, okay? At the same time, some Singaporean dollars coming, and then some pounds coming as well. You know what I mean? So this is what, you have to be thinking.
Okay.
Globalization.
Let's pick Ifwa. There are quite a few more questions in the chat room. I'll pick them quickly. Ifwa, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, good evening. Thanks for unmuting me. Yeah. I'm interested in obviously investing in properties. I have a jointly owned mortgage currently, and I was looking to release some equity to get another property. So with this current property being a joint ownership, am I able to release an equity and then say this property is like a buy-to-let, whilst I use that equity to buy another property? And with that other property I'm looking at, there's a new build, which is over £500,000 somewhere in Kent, and then others which are quite lower in Leeds. So what would you say is the best option? And mind you, I also own a limited company. So how am I able to get through the tax, loophole?
If I ask 5 questions in one.
I know, it's really packed. Sorry.
Okay, no, don't worry about it. Don't be sorry. It's fine. Yeah. So let's take it one at a time. So your first question is, you joint own a property with someone, okay? Yeah. Because you joint own a property with the person, whatever decision you make would have to be mutually agreed between you and the person, unless, of course, you want to buy yourself out, which I will not advise. I think you guys should still hold on to that property. I don't know how you want to move on from. If you want to own the property, you can decide to buy the person out, or if you want to move out, you can buy yourself out, or if you still want to co-own it with the person, then your first approach is, first of all, how much is our property worth? What is the loan amount we have in it? If we apply a 75% loan to value to the current loan we owe on it, what is the difference we can pull out? So let's agree, let's pull the difference out. So if the difference we can pull out is 150,000, that is what we get. Okay.
Can I just tell you, because currently what we've got left is like £45,000, and is valued between 460 to 500.
Okay, so you do have some equity in it you can pull out to do a lot of things. I can help you with that, but what I'm trying to say is, the two of you can agree to do the refinance. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
When you are doing the refinance, can I ask a question? Is this your current residence, like the residential home? Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So you have two options. You are either refinancing this as your current residential if you don't have intentions to move out, or you are refinancing this as a let to buy if you want to move out and buy another property to live in it. Okay. So if you don't want to move out and you want to buy this as you want to move money out to invest in a property and an investment property, then refinance it as a residential. Move out as much as you can move out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because when you are refinancing, a bank can loan you up to 90% loan to value. What that means is that you can get a lot of money out to do what you want to do with. Okay. Remember, don't do more than 5 years, 2 years. I personally don't like it. Okay. Do 2 years, term, fixed term. Now, after you've moved the money, now the decision is, what do we put into? You said you are targeting a newly built, or you are targeting a property with a less lease. Okay. So my question would be, what is your long-term goal? What do you seek to achieve in your investment style? Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking for equity? Are you looking to multiply or build your portfolio? You've got to have a plan. It's like
build
a business.
Portfolio, multiply.
Thank you. So if you want to build a portfolio, a new build will probably not be an ideal way to approach this. But even if you want to approach this, going to the new build, you want to make sure that you are buying off plan and you are getting a lot of discount. Okay. Otherwise, my approach would be What do you want to do? Do you want to go into student accommodation? Do you want to go into service accommodation, or do you want to just buy buy an investment property and rent it out to a family, which is also very good. So what you want to do is you want to get on a project. Okay, do you want flats or do you want houses? Which one do you feel more inclined to? Which one resonates with you? There are people who love flats, there are people who love houses, there are people who love lands. So which one appeals to you? Which one would you enjoy doing? And so if yours is to go for a normal house, or you love flat, then what I would say is go and buy a flat with lease extension. But guess what? If I'm giving you another golden strategy, do not buy a house which is over the ground floor. So if you are buying a flat, make sure the flat is on the ground floor, not on the first floor. Now, you also want to make sure that the square meter, okay, of the kitchen, if you multiply the length and the breadth of the kitchen, it is not less than 6 meters square. Because what you are going to do is that you are going to increase, the lease of the house, of the flat, and you are going to convert the kitchen into a bedroom, and you are going to move the kitchen into the living room to become an open plan. So if you buy a 1-bedroom flat, what you have done now is that you've converted the 1-bedroom flat into a 2-bedroom flat and have extended the lease. So if the 1-bedroom flat was 150 and 2-bedroom flat at the area is selling for 250, your refurbishment only costs you around 30,000 or 40,000 at the moment, because it's a 2-bedroom and the lease has extended. All right, your property is now worth 250,000. You refinance that and you go on the next deal. All right, it's a beautiful strategy. Beautiful strategy. You can do this every year. All right, I know someone who is doing this twice a year. Every year he buys 2 flats. Imagine how many flats you have in 10 years. You don't have to work again. Okay, so that is my advice. Refinance it, pull it, and if you want to buy, find what you want to go into. If yours is flat, do it, but new build may not be the right approach for you. You need to get into a project. Let's discuss this the more. I'm happy to talk to you more about it, if that is okay. Yeah, God bless.
Okay.
I think Efua is asking about stamp duty. The stamp duty is going to be stamp duty because it's your additional property. You are going to buy stamp duty. But let me give you another clue with stamp duty. Okay, I won't give you everything. Call me. I'll tell you something else you can do with stamp duty, or join the session on Saturday, because I'll be giving some tips on how you can get around the stamp duty. There is a very good way to do that.
Okay. There's quite one here. Let me pick that. Okay, please. Okay, there's this question here. Please, what if you can buy your council property under right to buy? 1 minute. Under right to buy and cannot sell before 5 years. Can you still reduce the 2 years? I'm confused with this question.
Okay, I think maybe what the person is trying to say is, if you have a limit, if you have a property and it's if you live in your council property and you buy it
under
right to buy, can you rent it out after 2 years or so? Is that what you want to say? The person should clarify that.
Under right to buy and cannot sell before 5 years. Can you rent? Yeah. Reduce it or no? Reduce it. Reduce the 2. I don't understand.
Yeah, the person should come back again with the question because it's a very good question. I want to understand what you are driving at so that if there is anything you can do, I will show you what to do. Yeah, but make the question clearer and then I will come in and help.
Right.
I think someone is asking, how can you register for the webinar? The link is on the registration link is in the chat. So if you look through the charts, you can register. A lot of you have registered already, which is good, but I've posted it again. Just click on it, copy it, paste it in your Google, and you should be able to register for it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few questions here as well. During your viewing, when you are buying a property, what are the red flags you never ignore during viewing? Then the second
that's one. That's a very good question.
Yeah. Then the second one, how do you verify planning permission and potential future development nearby?
That is also a very good question. So let me look at, let me first of all answer the viewing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there is something we call a standard build and a non-standard build. Okay. One is brick and mortar, one is concrete. Okay. Lenders will not, when you buy a non-standard build, okay, you will struggle to sell in the future. Okay. So you always have to ask the question, is this a standard build? Is it brick and mortar? Okay. So you want to find out because sometimes they have, I recently had a client who came to me and the estate agent was forcing him to buy a non-standard build. And I said, mate, you can buy it. I don't have an issue with that, but you will struggle to sell because not most lenders will not lend you on. Okay, so be careful in that. There is also another thing we call the single skin system. Okay, in the UK, every house you buy must have what we call a cavity wall on the envelope, 2 walls. Okay, the inside is made with wood. That is fine. The olden buildings are built with blocks and stuff, which is even better. But the external envelope, the external brickwork has to be 2. It's called cavity, 2 layers. And then there is an insulation in the middle. But in the olden days, people were building houses with 1 skin, like you are building in Ghana, 1 block work. Okay, lenders will not lend you on that. And so if you are buying a house that is a single skin, you are going to struggle. If you are investing and you go to an auction and you see that word single skin, be careful because you may struggle to get a finance to do that. So don't look at that. Okay, so be careful with that. Now, number 3, if the house is standard and it's got everything, one of the biggest thing you want to look at is the first thing you do when you get into the house is go straight to the kitchen and open the tap and leave it to run. When it is running, touch it a little bit to see if hot water is coming and ask them, can I see your boiler? All right. And as soon as you see the boiler, the first question you want to ask is, when was it last serviced? When was it purchased? Okay, because it's an expensive element in the building. If the boiler begins to give you problem, if your hot water is not running well, if there are laggings and scales in your pipe works, that is going to cost you a lot of money after you've bought the house. And these are things you can't see because it has to work for you to see. So if all you are doing is you are just checking how beautiful the house is and all that, you may miss some of these things. So let the house work. It's like you're going to buy a car. When you sit in it, the first thing they say is, do you want to go on a test drive? Isn't it? They'll ask you, do you want to go on a test drive? Why do you go on a test drive? Because you want to see how the car is functioning. So you also have to see how the house is functioning. So on the lights, on the taps, flush the toilet, see how it is going, tear some toilet roll, put it in it and flush it. See how the system is working, how the house is going. Come out of the building, look at the roof. make sure that if you have a phone, what I do is that I go with my phone and then I open my camera. And when I open my camera, I zoom it like I'm taking a photo to the roof to see, then I watch my photo to see the roof. If you see that some of the bricks are moving and that, it means that there are possible issues with the roof. So you don't want to do that, okay? And also watch sign for molds, okay? Molds, make sure, are there molds on the wall? These are some of the things I watch, and a lot more. Even on the floor, when I'm going, I jump on the floor, I stamp on it to see if there's that quicking noise, because they are very annoying. So you want to find out, because if there is, then it means that the floorboard, some of the floorboard is not working well. And so you want to ask that. And most of this will also help you to negotiate the prices, to say, this is not working, that is not working, that is not working. Check the window, is it double glazing? All right, make sure you open the windows, you turn, check if it's got keys. If they don't have keys, ask, where are the keys? Because you are buying it, you're going to be your house. So these are some of the things you have to look into. And do your own due diligence. This information, I'm telling you, they are online. If you go online right now and you type, what do I need to check when I'm going for viewings? A lot of them will come. And don't be in a rush to go out. Don't let the beauty in the house, cloud your due diligence, your mind to conduct your due diligence. Go with your checklist and tell the estate agent, I want to make sure all this is working. And then I've checked this. It's okay. You write your notes. I've checked this. I've checked this. If none of them is working, then you can ask questions and you can put your notes, and it will form the basis for you to, ask questions or even negotiate. I hope it is helpful.
Very, 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 very.
Wonderful.
Let me take one or two and we will try and wrap up here. Producer, if you are there, can we take one quick ad break? And when we come back, I will add few questions and we'll bring the session to a close. So
maybe I'm discovered for Europe. I come to for Ghana. No, me used to tap send. No fee mobile money transfer. Easy, convenient, fast, and sounds so free. Won't you share? Me discover my pimp. Tap send. Also download the TAPTAP send app. No, mobile phone so free. Na first ka come abusuafo for Ghana fa na nyina. TAPTAP send. Papa no.
Welcome to the epitome of luxury living, White Wall Properties. We are a Ghanaian-owned real estate company that develops comfortable apartments and townhouses for residential and investment purposes. At White Wall Properties, our vision is clear: to be Ghana's preferred real estate developer. We are driven by a passion to deliver consistent quality in our product and customer service. Our commitment to excellence is unwavering, and our team's dedication to providing an outstanding experience sets us apart. For over a decade, White Wall has been at the forefront of Ghana's real estate industry, creating spaces that are not only comfortable, functional and located in the heart of Accra, but also stylish and luxurious. Each of our prestigious developments reflects our core values of quality, reliability and customer satisfaction. Choosing White Wall Properties means choosing a partner who understands your needs and exceeds your expectations. We are proud to contribute to Ghana's real estate landscape, offering homes and investment opportunities that are second to none. We invite you to explore our projects and discover the White Wall difference. Contact us today to learn more about our development and how we can help you find your perfect home. Visit whitewallproperties.com or call us. White Wall Properties. Discover true comfort.
Thank you for staying right here with us, and having a discussion with my dear brother Emmanuel Antwi, and we are discussing property investment opportunities in the UK. If you've just joined us, this is your number one Thursday evening show, Time with Tap Tap Send, with yourself and Nana Kwame Osei. And this show is proudly brought to you by Tap Tap Send. Brahima, before I will bring this show to a close, you've talked about few financial myths and talking about finance and leverage. I want to ask, what sort of financing myths do you typically use or advise your client on, either going for mortgage, bridge finance, equity, or partnership? I think you've talked about all this, but I want you to throw a bit more light on finance, mortgage, bridge financing, or bridging, equity, or partnership. When it comes to partnership, our brothers in the Asian community, they understand it. Our Jewish community understand it. When it comes to Ghana, we don't like partnership. Talk to me more about this when it comes to financing a property.
Yeah. I think the whole the core concept of the whole concept of the of investing and scaling your investment is your ability to leverage. That is how you can scale. Even the most wealthy person on earth, they leverage. Elon Musk, they leverage. When Elon Musk was buying Twitter, he didn't use his own money. He went to the bank, told the bank, hey, I'm Elon Musk. I have this company, all right? So give me money against my company to buy Twitter. And they gave him money to buy Twitter. So he took a loan, all right? So to become successful in property investment, you need to have a very strong ability and understanding on leveraging. And leveraging can come from anywhere, whether from a joint, whether from mortgages, or whether from however you can buy. I think the main idea is what works for you and what make economical sense or commercial sense when you are buying. Numbers don't lie. And so if I want to partner with a friend, say we have a property we want to buy, the property is 100,000. I have a 50,000, my friend has 50,000. The question is, if I buy the property cash with my friend, 50,000 each, then what? You know what I mean? After we bought it, then what? Is our money stuck? Or we just leave the money in for, until when? So you've got to understand what you actually want, and that will explain how you want to finance your deal. So the question is, what would I advise my clients? I have different shape of clients. There are clients who come to me and they have a lot of money saved to buy, and there are some who don't. When you come to me and you don't, I will show you how you can leverage properly. There are some, your best approach will be to get a loan, to get a mortgage. So I advise you to get a mortgage to begin with. If you want to go into a project, normally a high street lender, what you normally call a mortgage company, they will not lend you if a property is not habitable. What I say habitable means that if there is no boiler, if there is no kitchen, if the house is collapsing, they will not lend you, because mind you, the only way of ensuring security is the property. That is why they register their funding or their mortgage against your property on land registry. So if the property is not in a good condition, they are not interested. And so in such a situation, I would advise you to go into bridging finance. Bridging finance is a short-term finance. They will fund you on anything, because their interest rate is ridiculous, 7%, 8%. But it's a short-term finance. You can have it for 8 months. Sometimes you can even have it for 12 months. And if you are lucky, you can have it for 18 months. But it does magic, where when you have a project, you can use their funding to be able to secure what the average lender in the UK will not give you. And if you are smart, you can quickly turn that around within 6 months, 7 months, and return your money back to them, basically, so that you can refinance it through a mainstream. So That is what I would say. But again, I want to encourage a lot of you to do joint ventures with people you can trust, because no matter how much you have, it is not enough. And if we want to grow, like Nana rightly said, the Jewish community and the Asian community, they know how to do that. Two people come together, they contribute money, they use other source of leveraging like mortgages or bringing finance to buy one property. Within the year, they refinance, they go into another, they do another one, they refinance. Before you know, they are buying. What does the good book says? It says one will do what? Will kill 1,000, but two will put 10,000 to flight. So it means that even the Bible recognizes that two people can do more than one person can do. Okay, so I want to encourage positive business alliance. When I say positive, it means don't go into business with anyone. Some people can cause you pain. So make sure that you are finding the right people. You know, there is no room for greediness. We all want one thing, to leave posterity and good fortune for our children's children. How long will we live on this earth for? Okay, so if we all help each other, we can all grow together and we can all build something that the future generation can also build on to, you know, alleviate poverty from our family and live in posterity.
Okay. My final question will be cost associated with buying a property. Apart from the property price, what are the other costs that one should bear in mind when they decide to go into property investment?
Okay, so I get this question a lot, and Anna, it's good you've asked this question because someone sent me a message. Someone called me, and the person said, "Emmanuel, I have £10,000. I want to buy a house in Kent. Can you help me?" He said, "How much? What is the number of bedroom you want?" He said, "I want 4 to 5 bedrooms."
With £10,000.
With £10,000. Okay, so. I'm saying this to say that it actually varies. Okay, it will depend on where you are buying, what you are buying. Okay, so there is no a yes or no. In as much as some will need maybe 30,000 or 25,000 to invest, some may need a bit more. It will all depend on where and what you want to buy. But there are hidden costs like cost for a broker, cost for lending, a few works you have to do, some searches. All these things are costs that can come up when you are buying a property. Ideally, I would say that any property you want to buy, make sure that at least you have 10%. 10%. Okay. And if you're a first-time buyer, try and use the first-time buying opportunity to secure a property. Find 10% of the value of the property, allow roughly about 1,500 plus VAT for a solicitor, anything up to 1,500, 2,000 for a broker, and then allow about 500 for searches, and maybe save yourself some 2,000 or 3,000, you know, if you want to move out and you want to do some bit of painting and something in the house. So just to give you a bit of a gist, and if your property is more than 250, you may want to keep about some 2,000, 3,000 in your pockets to pay for stamp duty. But if it's below, then it even works in your favor. You don't pay stamp duty. Sorry, if it is more than 125,000, I still think I'm eating in Stonehenge. I've forgotten we are in 2026. The times have changed. Okay, all right. So that is what you should be thinking about. All right. Now, there are a lot of things you can do. Okay, for example, the guy who came to me and said she's got 10,000, I gave him an advice that I can't give you today. All right, if you call me, there are ways around this. You can get families coming in to support you. You can get people loaning you in the meantime. There are so many ways you can raise money. Okay, but again, we don't have the time to treat that. But I have a session on raising finance, which I can book at a later date with you to show you all the loopholes you can use to raise money to invest in finance. That alone is a class. It's a class on its own, which I'm more than happy to teach you. If you don't have money or you have less money and you want to go into properties, that will be your class.
That will be our next section on this show when we invite you back, raising finance
Wonderful.
to buy your property in the
So
UK.
we have a question already. We have a topic already. That's good. Amazing.
Already. All right, Ima. So take home. What would you say to us to take home this evening when it comes to property investment opportunities in the UK?
All right. I want to say I'm so grateful that we've had this healthy conversation. The engagement has been really encouraging, and thank you all for those who've also registered to come to the master class. I think that we are living in a world where information is right at the tips of our hands. Okay. With the new immersion of AI and all that, there is a lot you can do without, moving from your room. What I want to say is seek knowledge. It is so important. Don't be open-minded. Don't stay in what you know. Learn all the time. Seek knowledge. Talk to the people who know what they are doing, or people who've built a track record, who are investors themselves, or they've done this before, and try and explore a bit. If you don't take risk, I was talking to a client. The wife want to buy a property here. The husband says no. Meko fie, meko Ghana, me best me to die wa. And it became a massive issue between the two couple. The wife says, let's buy a house here. The husband says, no, I don't want to buy a house here. So I want you to be open-minded and seek the possibility of, okay, what can I, what would I benefit if I invest in a property here, as opposed to, even if you go home, yeah, there are ways to do that. There are ways you can still invest. I have investment in home. I have properties in Ghana, a property in Ghana, which I have, but there are ways I did that. Okay, so let's invest home, but let's take care of ourselves here. Let's seek knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge here. Let's educate ourselves, and let's work together as a community to build posterity for our children and our children's children. We are in a very good country with a lot of opportunities. So please, let's take advantage of that. God bless you, and thanks for having me.
Before you go, can you please share your contact details again, and also the link for those who want to register for the webinar on Saturday, the 28th of March. Yo, abusia for ahanamo ene brebema ye ho kwan ye de ene dwumadi no ABC. Meeting ene Nana Kwame Osei to my guest for today on the show, Emmanuel Antwi, or a property investor when it comes to property industry in the UK. Waye adwuma ewo mu for 15 good years. Ban edan sie opese usi dan ewo UK akra obesi amount. Enye se wokoto opese usi a obesi e de amount. He owns a company womo eboa enkofo mo si omo adan omo todan ene ade nyina. Get in touch with him and he'll be more than happy to assist you for you to invest in the property market here in the UK. Ima, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and definitely we are going to bring you back to continue the conversation. Yamin shall be
Thank you for having me. Amen. Thank you. Yamin shall. Bye-bye.
Yo. Abuja for me, dane me ho na mafankrato ba kumienu. Me ba TAPTAP send focus session. Ye kasa ye din komo about TAPTAP send. Ene edien ena TAPTAP send aso koso. Edien ena womo ye edia mom customers. Ye ba ye dane ho ne ba ebe disa enkomo ni nyina. Me ba enko ba bia.
So critical money and pretty me do rap just for me send jam in a minute in Sabakandia and then one tap send.
Yeah, Ebushanfo, we didn't did an akuma patchlewa one. They recommended TAPTAP send that mama. And that's our for also for baby. Yabasa, our rating so yeah. Omo ye A1 nti obian load do TAPTAP send na on sense ka for TAPTAP
ye ko hu de wo kire amansan ye ko hu de wo kire Ghana for say ye wa kwantu ne di sika ko fie nie me ye mfa ba bia ye be nu ye ho TAPTAP edemu wa TAPTAP send in this street
the TAPTAP de no ana
TAPTAP and one in
Piao.